Alright, hi everyone. This is Nicole Wood, Wildlife Bio Gal, live from Sleeping Bear Dunes. As you can see, we've got the big, huge dune climb right behind us here, and it is a very bright, sunny day, thus the shades. We'll give you guys a few minutes to log on here, but we're live at the Cerulean Center's bioblitz, and I've got Sarah here, which is one of the park rangers here at Sleeping Bear Dunes, and so we're going to talk to her a little bit about the National Park's involvement with the bioblitz today. So if you guys have any questions about that, feel free to ask. If you missed this podcast and you're catching it later, feel free to tweet me questions at wildlifebiogal.com, and I'll do my best to help get those answered for you. So I'm going to let Sarah kind of just tell us a little bit about, what the national park here is, or it's not, the National Lakeshore. I always need to get it right. I always want to say it's a national park here, but it's actually a national lakeshore here at Sleeping Bear Dunes. So if you want to just kind of give us the spiel of the awesomeness that is Sleeping Bear Dunes, because if you've never been here, you need to come here.
So Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore is a part of the National Park Service. There's a whole system of national park sites, so we're more than just the big national parks. There's lake shores, rivers, battlefields, monuments. There's about 30 different ways a national park's name can end, but we're all a part of the same system. Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore, we were created because of the awesome geologic features of the dunes. During the last ice age, the glaciers came down, they carved up the land, left a lot of sand, and the wind and the water have been working together to form awesome dunes and continually change what's going on up there. So it's pretty cool. Along with just the dunes, we have got over 100 miles of hiking trails. We even have a biking trail, which is also multi-use, so if you're a skateboarder, you can come and skateboard or rollerblade on it. There's 20 inland lakes, 2 rivers, lots of streams. We've got fields, forests, wetlands, all sorts of different environments to explore here. We're much more than just the dunes.
Yeah, I mean, there's people this morning doing adventure racing in the park here, so they were running up the dune to do part of their adventure race, so it's pretty cool to see. So I mean, there's all sorts of things here going on. So with the bioblitz, yesterday you were talking about how there are all these bioblitzes happening all around all the different parks and lake shores and things. Can you tell us, why is that important? What's the big deal with doing a bioblitz?
Bioblitzes have been going on for a while now. I know it's like the 10-year anniversary or something around there, about the 10-year anniversary of the National Park Service and National Geographic working together to do bioblitzes to collect data on the biodiversity of the national parks. And this year is the National Park Service's centennial. We just turned 100 back in August, so part of the centennial initiative was to do 100 bioblitzes across the nation. Most of them took place in the spring, and we are doing ours in September, and I think there's a couple more left, but I think the goal of 100 is going to be reached.
Cool. That's really neat, because I mean, being a scientist, I think it's really important to be able to go out and catalog what's out here, and then also to help bring in, the citizen science, so to bring in that public and help them engage with all the amazing things out here. Because normally, you walk through a park and you might see, 1 or 2 animals you don't necessarily notice, but when you have someone who really knows what they're looking for, it can help you find that. It really helps you engage with those scientists and, the features that are in that park. And then next time you come out here, you're more likely to be able to see that animal or notice that flower and be like, ooh, I know what that is. And, it just makes you more excited about it.
Yeah, I've lived here for almost my whole life, and I've been a park ranger since 2008, and I was learning about bugs that I didn't even know existed in the park yesterday. So it's pretty cool. Everybody gets to learn something when we bioblitz.
So, having been a park ranger here for so long, what's, maybe some of your favorite things here to do? If someone was to come visit, what's the thing that they have to do when they come to Sleeping Bear Dunes?
Well, depending on how much time you have, you do have to see the dunes. My favorite overlook of the dunes is actually on the scenic drive. It's stop number 3, the dune overlook.
Okay.
That one's my favorite, just because you get the whole expanse of the dune plateau. And then if you have more time, definitely hiking. And it's all weather dependent. If it's super hot out, I wouldn't recommend doing a dunes hike, but on a day like today, it'd be a good day to explore that area. Even just getting into as many different habitats as you can. And camping is really the best way, because then you have a couple days to experience the park.
So if you're going to go do the dune climb, like I did it yesterday for what I think is the first time. I came here as a kid, but I can't remember if we actually did the dune climb or not. Maybe we just went up to the first dune and not all the way through. You know, I've heard reports of people starting the dune climb and having to be rescued. So what are the things that people need to be able to have a successful dune climb to be able to make it all the way to the lakeshore and back? Like, what things should they make sure that they have in their backpack before they go?
You need extra water. Take more water than you think you're going to drink. And my tip to people is, you know, take at least 2 water bottles per person and save one of the water bottles for your trip back. We always say you add about 15 degrees to the temperature when you're on the sand, just because it's baking up, and shoes are important. A lot of people try and do the trek without shoes.
Wow. Yeah, I did see a lot of people who were just holding their shoes in their hand. I'm just like, you're just going to cut your foot at some point in time or burn your foot on the sand. I was just waiting to see people limping with bloody feet.
Yep. We'll have people get really bad burn blisters on the bottom of their feet. The whole trail isn't that soft sand. Eventually you hit glacial till and other gravels that the glacier deposited. So, you know, it's okay to walk without your shoes on for a while, but once you get into that spot, definitely you're going to want to put them on. Sunscreen is a big one. And also, let someone know you're going and check the weather. I know yesterday when you went, we were talking about the weather and to watch the clouds. Lake Michigan really changes our weather rapidly. We might have a storm come in, and sometimes it hits the lake and it falls apart, and other times it hits the lake and it intensifies. So it's really important to monitor the weather when you're exploring.
And the other thing I noticed while I was out there, we're so used to being able to have cell phone reception wherever we go, and there's a lot of spots along that hike where you absolutely have zero reception. It's not even that little 1X where you can still make a phone call. It says no service, and so if you get in trouble, you need to make sure either 1 that you have someone with you, or 2 that you've you should always let someone know that you've gone out there, even if you have someone with you.
Yep.
So, because it's quite a hike. I mean, it took me an hour to get out to the lake from here, and I was booking it. So if you're just on a stroll, it's going to take you 3, maybe 4 hours getting there and back. So it's quite a hike, but it's definitely worth it. But you just need to make sure that you take those precautions and are well prepared when you go.
Yeah. And take snacks.
Yes.
Snacks are really important. If you start to get hungry when you're hiking, your mood can deteriorate really quickly. So I always tell people to have snacks with them.
Yeah, I get hangry very easily.
I do too. So. It's bad.
Yep. So I guess what things are you doing here today? I see you've got a whole bunch of stuff here on the table for everyone.
We've
got
a
quick little look here.
Some kids' activities, some information about science and stewardship within the national parks. And then later on, I'm going to bust out a bunch of furs, skulls, and replicas of scat.
Oh, nice. So, poop.
Yeah, poop.
Awesome.
And I like
that right there is gonna hit the basically 10 and under crowd.
Yep.
I mean, if my niece and nephew saw that, at that moment, they'd be running up here. Oh, we get to play with poop. Yes.
So we play a little matching game of who dung it, so kids can guess which animals left that behind.
Nice. I might have to live broadcast that just for the younger crowd, because that will be pretty popular. So what kind of other furs and stuff do you have? What mammals do you see up here? 'Cause I think you guys probably see a little bit more than what we do.
Yeah, I'll grab. Where are you from?
I'm from south of Grand Rapids, Hastings, in my hometown. Okay. So
we actually had a ranger who used to work here from Hastings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, a few years ago. So, we have a lot of biodiversity up here, and we get a lot of really cool mammals. One of my favorites is actually a beaver, and here's a beaver pelt. And I have a pretty cool beaver chew, just a sample. And
Uh-oh.
they're fairly common in the park. Their numbers are starting to come up, which is exciting.
Yeah, I go to school at Central Michigan University, and when we saw that there were beaver in the Chippewa River there, we got all excited. The professors were all freaking out, and to be able to actually see a beaver live and in person, if you don't normally get to see them, it's pretty impressive, and they're amazing creatures.
Yeah, they're one of my favorites. River otters, I don't have any otter stuff today, are another. I love the aquatic mammals. Coyotes. Here's a coyote pelt. They're pretty common up here.
Nice.
And you'll see them oftentimes early in the morning or in the evenings when you're traveling around. That's when they're starting to move more. It's kind of rare to see them during the day, but
Do you guys have any wolves that have come down from the UP yet, or?
not yet.
Okay.
So just some...
There's rumors of them coming down, and I can't remember if they've actually officially established that they are in the Lower Peninsula yet, but like you guys are going to be probably one of the first people that see them if they are up here, because you are in northern Lower Michigan.
Yep.
And by the way, for the people who don't know, the UP is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We just call it the UP rather than the Up. So, and then there's the Lower Peninsula, which we're currently in right now.
Yeah.
And I'll save you the nice little map of Michigan on our hand.
Yeah. It does come in handy.
Yes, it does.
We have bobcats.
Oh,
Here's
cool.
a bobcat pelt. And here's a bobcat skull. And bobcats are pretty cool. They're pretty common. We actually have a lot of people. They're pretty common, but it's rare to see them. They're more moving around in the evenings too. I've been lucky enough to see them a couple times. Once ran in front of my car, and then I saw one up in a tree one time.
Oh, cool.
Which is pretty cool when I was out doing a night hike. But their skulls are pretty cool.
Nice.
And bobcats are a really cool predator because they can kill something much larger than their size, because their pounce attack has so much force that it'll stun and can kill their prey. So bobcats are pretty cool.
Yeah, I did some bobcat trekking for some research during my undergrad. Never saw a track or anything. Was so disappointed. That's about the closest I've gotten to a bobcat right there.
I can show you poop later. Fox are another one. This guy used to have a beautiful tail, but some fourth graders were playing with it over the winter and his tail fell off, so I didn't bring it today. But
do you guys have both gray and red fox up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
so,
we actually have a pair of gray fox around my parents' house, and for a few of you who've seen some of the previous videos I've uploaded to YouTube, you can see that where the first time we actually got video of them, and there was the two of them, I was chasing them through the woods because I was so excited because we'd never seen gray fox down there, and it was so cool.
That's pretty cool.
So what else you got in that magical box of awesomeness?
I've got a female white-tailed deer skull. So this one's pretty cool too. And when I'm talking to kids, I like to talk about the differences of teeth. So here's the bobcat, and if you look, the teeth are pretty sharp, and those are used for ripping through flesh. But our deer have flat teeth, and that's used for grinding up the fibrous materials of plants. So even if you don't know what the skull is, you can make a pretty good guess on what it eats based off of its teeth.
Now you can age deer by their teeth, right?
Yeah.
Because they grind it down so much. Okay.
I think you can even almost see rings or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Bears. So this is a black bear skull. Their teeth are pretty cool because they have, kind of like humans, a combination. So bears will eat meat and plants, so their teeth are designed for doing both.
Cool. How often do you guys see black bears up here? We've had rumors of a black bear that came down through Berry County once, and there's been a few more, spottings of Kent County, which is Grand Rapids, one of the major cities in West Michigan. So it seems like they've been moving down, but how often do you guys see them up here in northern Michigan?
So we do have bear in the area. They move through the campgrounds every once in a while, so we're working with our visitors to be really good about storing food.
Okay.
Not only do we have black bears, but there's raccoons and chipmunks, who are sometimes referred to as micro bears. And all three of those are notorious for getting into people's food. And we don't want to have problem bears, but sometimes they'll move through an area. I've never seen a bear, but they get reported every summer. I've seen signs of bear. Here's a big bear track.
Wow, that's kind of huge, you know, for all of you out there. I've got pretty big hands, and that's pretty big.
And I've seen bear scat and signs of bear, like torn up logs where they were getting at the grubs, but I haven't seen a bear yet.
So if you see a bear up here, it's still pretty special and awesome, and you definitely should be posting pictures like crazy all over social media that, yes, we saw a bear.
From a safe distance.
Yes, of course. Yes, don't walk up and pet the bear, please. And don't try to take a selfie with the bear either. Like, when we tell you to go take pictures and stuff, be smart about it. We don't want you to be a winner of the Darwin Award at some point in time. So be intelligent when you're out here seeing all of this wildlife, and be respectful of it too. So
a good kind of tip when you're dealing with wildlife is to use the rule of thumb. So if you stick your thumb out straight, and if you can't cover that animal up with your thumb, you're too close.
Oh, I've never heard that one, but that makes total sense. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, and especially with something like a bear, that really will back you up away. So, any other fun stuff in there? You know, since we've got this grab bag, and I am a science nerd, so like this is all fun play stuff here.
A beaver tail.
Cool.
Beaver tails are pretty cool. This time of year, they're getting fat. Beavers will store fat in their tails for winter, and then in the spring when they are moving around some more, their tails are thinner.
Wow, I never knew that. Like, I just assumed it was a tail is a tail is a tail.
Yeah. And they do not hibernate, so they're active during the winter months.
Okay. Hey.
They still want that extra storage.
Sweet. So if you guys have any questions here for Sarah, go ahead and start sending them in. So, because if not, we'll probably go through this also. Okay, we got to do the scat, because we've got it here. So we're gonna do the scat too, and then so go ahead and start sending in your questions. Anything about Sleeping Bear Dunes, Great Lakes, the National Lakeshore here, any of the animals that are around the area. We'll definitely just go ahead and have fun putting Sarah on the spot. So feel free to ask questions. But with that, go ahead and start with the scat, because this is cool.
This is bear scat. So depending on what their diet is, with anything, the poop can change colors, but that's about how big it is. About the size.
Okay, so we have a question from Darren. I think it's Darren Chair. This is awesome. Thank you. You can never go anywhere. Like, how long have you been open? Oh, I kind of lost the tail end of that as it was ripping away. So, how long has this Lakeshore been open? So how long has it been?
Yeah, we were established in 1970.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're coming up on some good birthdays pretty soon.
Yeah, that would be neat. Yeah. So 50 years of the Lakeshore here.
Yeah.
That would be pretty special.
Yep.
Cool.
And our birthday is actually October 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are in the area, come on up, because we'll have a star party. So astronomers from the Grand Traverse Astronomical Society will come out with telescopes, and we'll be looking at whatever's going on. I'm not sure what planets are out that time of year, but sometimes they look at deep space objects. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Well, you're saying that there's a chance of seeing northern lights up here tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this would be an amazing place to come see it, because there's not a lot up here as far as cities and stuff. A question from Science in Michigan. Did not know beavers store fat in their tails. Yeah, very cool. Yes, that is very neat. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, keep going with the scat, because this is cool. Like, this is gonna make me totally rock out with my 6-year-old niece and my 8-year-old nephew right now.
So here's bear, and then this is another one. What do you think would do that?
I don't know. I'm guessing raccoon.
This one's actually coyote, and this is raccoon.
Oh, okay.
So they're pretty close. The coyotes are more of like a link.
Okay.
And then raccoons are linkish but blobbish too. That's how I look at it.
Gotcha.
So, pretty cool.
Neat.
And bobcats. If you have a household cat, bobcat poop really does look like cat poop, just a little bit bigger. And I think red fox poop.
Oh wow, that's really tiny.
It's really small.
Yeah,
and
I would not have thought, especially with, because I mean Yeah, the size of a bobcat, right? Yeah, roughly. So you would think it'd be about the same.
Yeah, but I don't know why, but red fox have smaller poops.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The things you learn. Now I'll have to like go track the gray fox and see if it's about the same and see if I can find it in the woods behind the house.
Oh.
So, well, I think that's what. You have anything else in there of superb interest for the crowd?
Just some cool tracks, raccoon, coyote, and it's kind of fun to compare bobcat tracks. Here's a bobcat to yes, a house cat.